I'm sure this was on no one's bingo card, but I'm here to tell you how Luigi Mangione, Mark Zuckerberg, and Rednote intersect. CEOs are not popular in the court of public opinion at the moment, particularly those who are multi-billionaires and have unethically mined data from all of us for now almost 2 decades. The timing of this TikTok ban could truly not be worse for Mark Zuckerberg. What I find hilarious about this backlash is, while he's poured multi-millions into lobbying against the TikTok ban, public, particularly the young public, have not taken kindly to this. The content circulating TikTok to spy the US government and Meta from young Americans has been quite priceless. What he seems to have forgotten is that the brain trust are also the culture trust. So let's say anyone who falls into the Zillennial category of being born from about 1993 to 1998, we're in that limbo between millennials and Gen Z. We are the eldest of the culture and brain trust, the users that you'd want on the platform that are setting tastes, that are the chief vibe officers, if you will. Of course, Gen Z are synonymous with TikTok at this stage. They are also completely disinterested in Meta. They weren't even really on social media enough to care about Meta to begin with. And Gen Alpha have been around for 2 minutes, and TikTok has definitely been the be-all and end-all for them. So in America, the youths are the ones who create the content that draws in the audience and the users. The content creators and curators, those who are really contributing value to the platform. They are not going back to Meta. And this is not going down very well. To add damage to injury, the very likable Singaporean CEO of TikTok showed you was Mark's intern at Facebook in the 2010s. So this is not turning out very well for Mark. And we can thank Luigi for the fact that now more than ever, the public are, if anything, I dare say, organising against this type of control from authority, particularly authority that doesn't deserve respect. And we'll circle back to TikTok refugees. Now, there were talks of a 270-day extension. There was a senator pushing for this as he qualified that users were economically dependent on the platform and it was a key mode of communication. However, TikTok has taken the reins and decided to shut down the app completely as of Sunday. We are days out from the TikTok ban now, and this information has just come through. So as of Sunday, the app will no longer be working in the US, but there will be a link that users will be able to go to download their data so they do not lose their accounts and their content. So while the law doesn't require that TikTok is removed from the United States with such severity, they have explained that because the app will no longer be hosted on US servers for US users, the accounts and content will slowly disappear. And moving these servers to China will just cause significant latency issues. This will obviously compromise the experience for users in other countries, so the app, very wisely, is choosing to just pack it in on Sunday, the 19th of January. Now, like I said in my other video, I'm not sure what that means for users in other countries. Like I mentioned in my other video, the platform's going to take a huge hit. We are on this platform for its content. Now, in that hellscape, Rednote has emerged as the #1 destination for TikTok refugees, welcoming them with open arms. So we can thank Luigi as a very, very interesting catalyst for how young American TikTok users have received Mark Zuckerberg's moves. If we look at Meta as a brand, obviously their key opinion leader, their brand ambassador, their poster child is Mark Zuckerberg. His rebrand and new hairstyle has unfortunately not cut it, pun intended. Which is exactly why it's being received like this. What's hilarious is we're already seeing migrations from users in other countries to Rednote. I'm seeing Australians on there and quote unquote, we follow the memes and good times. So while we have some TikTok refugees, we also have some voluntary TikTok migrants, which is very indicative of how this ban is going to go down. And it has restored my faith a little bit. I'm not writing off Meta. I do think convenience does win out over a lot of other things. However, for the users who aren't interested in being content creators, there is no appeal for them to be using Meta. For those who are actually interested in boycotting Meta, there is a fabulous video I will link below which explains that Meta's apps, particularly Messenger, is notoriously the most unsafe in terms of protecting your data and notoriously guilty of data mining. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending where you're placed in this virtual picket line, you will not be able to use the following apps: Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger. Again, like I said, convenience for everyone, I believe, is what will win out here over time. The irony with TikTok is, if anything, it's trained our attention spans to be at their all-time shortest. Users are increasingly watching short-form content, videos as short as 1 to 2 minutes on 2 speed. So given that this is how our brains are currently conditioned, I do think over time people will get over this and unfortunately resort back to Meta, just purely out of the ease of use, the fact that you already know people on there, the fact that there are group chats and content that you don't want to lose. I see people slowly increasing their usage on Meta. That's just my peroxide prediction for you. But if you do want to boycott Meta, then you will have to remove your profiles from all of those apps. You can't be half pregnant. Now, the TikTok refugees and TikTok migrants, it's not just Rednote that's come up as a replacement. People are opting to move to Blue Sky, again, because other CEOs on other platforms with horrendous rebrands in recent history, X, also not in popular opinion. Social media platforms as businesses would be very wise at this stage to distance themselves from making CEOs the face of their brand. It is not going down well. So instead of X, users are preferring Blue Sky. Now that happened before the TikTok ban, but it has emerged as talks of a replacement for TikTok, and the implication also being that X is really not quite marking the spot. What's really interesting, and I did mention this in my other video, in terms of the changing landscape of social media and how that all link in with Web3, AI, and augmented and virtual realities, PixelFed has emerged as a direct Instagram substitute, with users claiming it looks like Instagram before Mark Zuckerberg ruined it. It's a decentralized version of Instagram, so again, it's leaning into that Web3 direct ownership of content. Reminder, we do not own the content on any of these platforms. We've agreed to that in the terms and conditions. Just quick reminder. What's making it even more appealing is that it's annoyed Mark Zuckerberg so much that users who are posting about PixelFed on Facebook are having their posts removed. So, for the great wave of TikTok refugees and migrants, we really are at a stage where we could shape the next chapter of social media. We are essentially customers. So just like the basic laws of capitalism, customers vote with their feet and their wallets. Where they choose to go and what they choose to spend on is their power. Now, we also clearly have the power to determine where our attention goes, and in the very, very cutthroat attention economy that we're finding ourselves in, we truly could be the ones who choose Rednote, PixelFed, and Blue Sky as the new TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Wild times we find ourselves in. As someone who's had a career in marketing since 2019 and started my own digital marketing agency in 2021, which since 2023 has morphed into a fully integrated AI agency for business development, sales, and marketing, story for another day, I find this hilarious. And while unprecedented times have become precedented now, both words are completely redundant in meaning, this does have me sitting back some popcorn. For those of us who are into astrology, the plot thickens further. Apparently, given that we're in a Mars retrograde, this ban will not last. So it will be either backpedaled on or undone in the next few months. Let's just see, because the astrology behind this entire ban coincides with a lot of interesting planetary shifts. But you can put your crystals away. That's all I'll be talking about on this particular rant. So well done if you've made it through the twists and turns of my tangents. Keep your arms and legs inside the ride at all times. And follow along as we watch the riders work overtime and track this entire palaver play out. I will be monitoring all the movements on our new generation of social media platforms, as well as taking a very interesting temperature check on the stale geriatric platforms to which we seem to be abandoning and retiring to the nursing home, where arguably they belong.